ask you please to stand. Please be seated. Good morning. My name is Marjorie Jeffries, and I would like to welcome you all here to this service today, where we will be paying tribute to and celebrating the life of Joshua Adam Jones. I'm sure lovingly known to all of you as Josh. A wonderful son, brother, grandson, and of course friend. And may I say, what a wonderful tribute you have already paid to Josh by so many of you coming here today. Each one of you will have very special memories of this accomplished young man. And during our service for him, we will hear memories of Josh from family and friends through the many stages of his life. And I feel this young man was full of life and enjoyed life, which brings to mind a very famous quote by Abraham Lincoln. In the end, it's not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years. And that young man, your friend, certainly had a short life, but what an accomplished life. And now, to begin our tribute to Josh, I would like to introduce Josh's brother, Andrew, to come here now and start our service. Thank you, Andrew.
On behalf of all Josh's family, I would like to thank you very much for coming here today. It means a huge amount to all of us. I think Josh would have been surprised to see so many people here, but I am not. Josh was always someone who united people with his natural enthusiasm, sometimes blind optimism, and quirky sense of humour. My family has asked me to talk a little about what Josh meant to us. For those who don't know me, I'm Josh's half-brother, something Josh, John and Ben all took rather literally, as they all seem double my height. Words cannot really do justice to the feeling of emptiness we were all experiencing, as Josh has been taken from us in such tragic circumstances. We should have had many more happy memories of him as he grew older. But the memories we do have are wonderful ones, and it has given us, and I hope will give you, comfort in remembering some of them. Josh was always meant to be called Michael, after one of my father's friends. He became Joshua Adam after a debate between my father and my stepmother, Kim, was decisively resolved by Kim nipping down to the registry office to register him as Joshua, very soon to become Josh, except to my grandmother, who thought he was called Michael for some time afterwards, much to everyone's confusion. Josh fitted into a happy childhood as the middle of three brothers. John, the cooler, older one, who Josh looks up to, and I imagine Josh may have cramped John's style occasionally at school. And Ben, who was a younger, useful playmate on whom Josh could always pull rank when necessary by commandeering the front car seat on the way to football and making sure the radio was tuned to Radio 5. Ben told me the other day that Josh was always his benchmark for academic and sporting success. And that's something Ben has found in his own right since. Football was a chance for Josh to show his determination, focus, and reliability, even if he wasn't always that successful on the pitch. Those core traits are what set Josh up for his success with trombone, hockey, maths, and accountancy, things we will hear more about shortly. Some of you may also have known the entrepreneurial Josh Jones. He was one of the few to be shortlisted for the Junior Apprentice, and almost certainly the only one to have set out a business plan for crazy golf. Probably not quite what Lord Sugar was looking for. And if Kim had a key influence on Josh's name, my father influenced his sense of humour, which has had us all laughing along, or sometimes at him, his love of jazz music, and his adventurous taste in food. Dad was able to take Josh to countless gigs at Ronnie Scott's or the Bull's Head at Barnes, as well as going to hear him play trombone so exceptionally well at numerous concerts. Dougal Prophet is now going to speak a little about that.
As you will all be aware, Josh was an extremely talented musician who excelled in many styles. He perhaps felt most comfortable in the world of jazz, not surprising given that his first teacher and inspiration was Laurie Parkinson, a man himself who has had a lifelong passion for jazz music. At Warnford School, Josh changed teachers to Bill Ferrier, having reached his grade 5 with Laurie. When Bill moved away, I was privileged to be asked to continue and build on the excellent grounding that Josh had been given. Josh passed his grade 8 on trombone in his final year of sixth form. I met with Laurie late last week to chat and reminisce about Josh, our time teaching him and the huge contribution he made to the music scene in and around Swindon. Laurie has very fond memories of teaching Josh and of playing in numerous bands with him. When Josh purchased a new instrument in order to progress onto the higher grades, he sold his trombone to Laurie. This will now serve as a cherished reminder of one of his fondest pupils. Josh was one of those students that every teacher wishes they had. He had a real, natural ability on the trombone, he practiced hard and had a driving need and want to progress and improve. One of my first jobs in Swindon was tutoring at Swindon Young Musicians and was delighted to find the standard excellent throughout the trombone section, something that's unlikely to be repeated. Josh, along with Dean Jones and Jonathan Rabbit, were a superb section and really complemented each other's playing. They were rightly proud of the sound they made and their contribution to both the wind band and jazz orchestra. Josh also loved playing in the smaller jazz combos, tutored by Gary Bamford each Wednesday, again excelling, being well within his comfort zone. Gary has described Josh as a great kid and one of the reasons I so looked forward to tutoring at the SYM Jazz Orchestra a couple of years back. He had a beautiful tone on the trombone, a genuine interest in and natural gift for improvisation, and was a lovely, down-to-earth person. He has been taken from us far, far too soon. Naturally, my thoughts are with his family and friends at this time. During his early years at Warnford, Josh was encouraged to participate in many musical activities, as were countless others by Jane Smale, and he very quickly became a member of the Warnford School Big Band, taken by Jane and assisted by Laurie. He gigged and toured with them throughout his school years. Alongside SYM in school, he played with the Wiltshire Youth Jazz Orchestra under Mike Daniels. Martin can still remember the hairs on the back of his neck standing up at times when the band kicked in with a big entry into a number. In parallel with this, Josh played with the Swindon Big Band under Fran Cowley. Martin remembers fondly how Ray Stevens, Mo Squires and Mel Cook made him very, very welcome. Josh's sight reading developed while playing there, as their pad contained around 400 charts, many of which he would ask to go through in his lessons with me. Truth is, he was a far better jazzer than I could ever have hoped to have been. Having had a great grounding in big band music, Josh began playing with the newly formed Nathan Jones All-Star Big Band. Paid gigs came along quickly and Josh enjoyed the extra spending money. Josh had a real passion for small jazz combos, and along with Phil Stevens on sax, Izzy Gibbon on keys, Sean Davey on bass and Lee Giles on drums, formed Izzy and the Old Peculiars. Phil posted on Facebook, "It was an absolute honour to have spent so many hours making music with you, and even more so to call you my friend. Your zest for life will always remain an inspiration, and I'll forever miss that horn." Phil and Josh then went on to form the brass section of a local band, Money Runner. This was originally a four-piece band led by Jamie Stapleton on guitar with three of his friends. They then added Josh and Phil and singer Samantha Scanlon. They played jazz funk and gigged around the local pubs. Jamie promoted a gig at the 12 Bar in 2010, which brought the James Taylor Quartet to Swindon, with Ronnie Munner as the support group. Jamie posted on Facebook, "Josh was just the most humble and talented guy you could ever hope to meet. I loved every moment of playing alongside him. His trombone stood out as the thing that set Money Runner apart from its peers. I have some really great memories of Josh, but up there, way at the top, has got to be the show we did with JTQ. His excitement positively poured out of his horn. He'll be really missed. Massive love to all his family and friends." At university, Josh joined the Surrey University Big Band, another great ensemble with many talented musicians and very fine singers. In and amongst all of these, Josh played in numerous other scratch groups and pit bands for school productions, semi-professional shows, and also the odd pantomime. With perhaps one of his favourite groups from school, Izzy and the Old Peculiars, Josh played many local pubs and festivals, and one of his favourite charts was the next piece of music you're going to hear. This was recorded by the Old Peculiars with Josh playing trombone. Those of you that had the pleasure of performing with him will know that he always was enthusiastic with his soloing, and this is truly evident in Bass and Street Blues.
Thank you so much, Dougal, for those lovely, lovely memories. And you couldn't help but get your foot tapping then, could you? Wonderful, wonderful. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Lowell Lewis to come and talk about Josh's hockey days. Thank you, Lowell.
Having heard the wonderful words from Andrew and Dougal, it will not come as a surprise to hear that Josh was a well-loved member of the hockey community. As a student at Surrey University, Josh played for both the Team Surrey, the university side, and Surrey Spartans Hockey Club. Even in the 3 brief seasons with us, his enjoyment of hockey was clear to see. And when he took on captaincy of the Spartans men's threes in his second year at uni, he passed that enjoyment on to everyone in his team. The team went on to do really great that season, with them winning the league title and placing Josh permanently in the club record books as the first ever league-winning captain of the Spartans, a feat still not matched by any other men's player. Josh's commitment to hockey was immense. If there was a match taking place, he would be there, no matter where it was, or who it was, or which team it was for. He would just readily as challenge himself in a difficult men's first 11 game, as he would step down and help out the men's fours if they were short of players. Josh really was a true club player. Josh was also a huge character off the pitch, and everyone knows that. He had a great sense of fun, never failed to make you smile. You never knew what was going to happen if Josh was around. Whether turning up to the club's black tie Christmas dinner in his playing kit, or waking people up by thinking 3 a.m. was a suitable time to start playing Call of Duty on the PlayStation. Josh definitely added an unpredictable dimension to everyone's social life. But that was Josh, and we wouldn't have wanted him any other way. It is with great sadness that we say goodbye today to a wonderful teammate to many and an amazing friend to even more. But I'm sure when I speak for all of us who knew him, on and off the pitch, when I say, Jonesy, thank you for all the great times. You'll never be forgotten, especially amongst us at the uni. Take care, buddy.
Wonderful memories again, held very deep in your hearts. And now it's, I believe, PWC, okay? And we're going to give memories from work and panto. Well, this is going to be interesting.
Hi, I'm Tom. This is Ronak and Jem. Jem was part of Josh's main audit team during his time at PwC, and Ronak and I joined the firm with Josh last September. Joining PwC last year was a huge part of our lives, and Josh was an equally large part of this. He became a valued friend to many of our group, including myself. He quickly shone as supremely bright, quick-witted, and a really fun individual. One of the many phrases that people have used over and over again to describe him is that he was the life and soul of any situation, and that perfectly describes his role in our group. He kept everything entertaining while still being unrelentingly driven by his goals. Personally, I counted Josh amongst my closest friends. At one point or another, over the year that I was privileged enough to know Josh, we worked together, revised for exams together, went to gigs together, partied together, and played football together, amongst many other shared experiences. Football will always be one of my fondest memories of Josh. It showed his drive to succeed, that he was given the nickname Golden Boot, due to his sheer persistence in scoring goal after goal after goal, long after everyone else had given up playing seriously. He'll be sorely missed from our weekly five-a-side matches. Ronak would now like to share another couple of our memories from our time with Josh.
As everybody knows and has been wonderfully described by Dougal earlier, Josh was a very keen and talented musician, played in several bands and the PwC Panto Pit Band, something he's very, very proud of. However, one of my earliest and fondest memories of Josh is one where his love of music escaped him. During a week of training, we played a game where a team member had to guess a song being hummed by the rest of his team. A broad grin made its way across Josh's face as he said, "I've got this, guys. Music's my thing." As he left the room, his team were told that the song they'd be humming was Queen's Don't Stop Me Now. As he returned to the room and the team began to hum, what I can only describe as a look of utter cluelessness was etched across his face, as he stared at his team in stunned silence for 30 seconds and scored 0. However, instead of being embarrassed or blaming his team, he accepted it with grace and would even joke about it later that day. Another thing I will always remember Josh for was his generous spirit and how he would put his friends in front of himself at all opportunities. I'd bought tickets for a gig near his home, and we'd agreed months in advance that I'd be staying at his that night. As it turned out, this night happened to be a few days before a very important exam of his. I tried to explain to him if he needed to study, I could make my own arrangements, and I didn't want to burden him. Josh was having absolutely none of it, and he said, "We agreed this months ago, mate. If you don't stay with me, I'll be very upset." I couldn't say no to him. I enjoyed the gig, and he passed his exam with flying colours. I'll now hand over to Jen, who will share some memories as a team.
I worked closely with Josh as part of a very, very close team for a number of months. And I'd just like to say how fortunate and grateful we were to have him on our team. As a colleague, his work was incredible. I trusted him implicitly. But he was also so much more than our colleague. He was our friend, and he was the heartbeat of my team. Josh was at the forefront of everything. Every time the team burst into laughter, you could be sure not only was Josh the root normally of that, but he was also louder than everybody else on the team. Josh was a truly special person. I remember one occasion, we were in Peterborough, it was January, freezing cold, and Josh was out dancing in the rain in front of a Nando's restaurant to celebrate having single-handedly devoured a sharing platter intended for 4 people by himself. There was also the time he turned up at our client's offices, having run into work, used the client's shower, and then subsequently discovered they'd run out of towels. So did, in fact, have to dry himself with his beautiful cashmere jumper. Our thoughts were with all of his family and friends. And I'd just like to express again how fortunate and grateful we were to spend so much time with such a special person. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who's shared their memories of Josh today, in messages to the family, in the Book of Condolence, and on Facebook. We really will hold those dear to our heart. My lasting memories of Josh will be laughing around the dinner table at home, sharing a joke, and one evening at Ronnie Scott's when Josh, Dad and I went to hear the amazing Dennis Rollins play trombone. It was a perfect summer's evening to be at a jazz club, the sort where time stands still, the world seems at peace, and everyone is happy to be there without any cares or worries. I remember Josh's eyes sparkling with excited awe as Dennis Rollins played, and his bubbly enthusiasm afterwards as we chatted about the concert and his plans for that week. That's how I will remember Josh, as a wonderful brother who I loved dearly and who I know was loved by everyone here, as a friend, a brother, nephew, cousin, uncle, grandson, and son. We will now have a few moments contemplation or prayer. Finally, Dad has chosen this poem by Canon Henry Scott Holland of St. Paul's Cathedral. Death is nothing at all. I've only slipped away into the next room. I am I, and you are you. Whatever we were to each other, that we are still. Call me by my old familiar name. Speak to me in the easy way you always used. Put no difference in your tone. Wear no forced air of solemnity or sorrow. Laugh as we always laughed, at the little jokes we always enjoyed together. Play, smile, think of me, pray for me. Let my name be ever the household word that it always was. Let it be spoken without effort, without the ghost of a shadow in it. Life means all that it ever meant. It is the same as it ever was. There is absolute, unbroken continuity. What is death but a negligible accident? Why should I be out of mind because I am out of sight? I'm waiting for you for an interval. Somewhere very near, just around the corner. All is well, nothing is past, nothing is lost. One brief moment and all will be as it was before. How we shall laugh at the trouble of parting when we meet again.
Amen.